But what if your brain could be trained like a smart machine? One that automatically pushes you toward your goals without constant willpower. Think about it. Most people fail to achieve their goals not because they're lazy or incapable, but because they rely on motivation, and motivation is like a cheap battery. It runs out fast. What if instead of depending on short bursts of energy, you could reprogram your brain so that reaching your goals becomes automatic, like brushing your teeth, tying your shoes, or scrolling on your phone, habits that happen without effort. Imagine if success worked the same way. The truth is, your brain already runs on autopilot most of the time. Neuroscientists estimate that the majority of daily actions are unconscious habits. You don't think about pouring coffee, unlocking your phone, or complaining about Mondays. You just do it. That's the hidden power of the brain. Once a pattern is installed, it repeats endlessly. The problem is, most of us install the wrong programs. Procrastination, excuses, distraction. But here's the exciting part. You can rewrite the code. Training your brain begins with understanding neuroplasticity, the ability of your brain to physically rewire itself based on what you repeat. Every action, thought, and emotion strengthens certain neural pathways, like carving grooves into a road. Do it enough times, and your brain treats it as the default path. That's why bad habits feel automatic. Your brain has paved a superhighway for them, but you can build new highways for focus, consistency, and disciplined follow-through. So how do you train your brain? Step 1. Create a clear goal with an identity attached to it. Don't just say, I want to run a marathon. Tell your brain, I am a runner. The brain loves identities more than vague wishes. If you identify as someone who runs, your actions start aligning automatically. Step 2. Connect the goal to strong emotion. Logic rarely drives habits. Emotion does. Think about why the goal matters. Do you want health to play with your kids? Do you want financial freedom to escape stress? Anchor the feeling. Step 3. Repetition with triggers. Link the desired action to something you already do. Want to meditate? Tie it to your morning coffee ritual. Want to write? Tie it to turning on your laptop. Over time, the brain fuses the trigger with the new habit, making it automatic. Let's go deeper. Your brain has a built-in reward system, dopamine. Each time you move closer to your goal, dopamine spikes, reinforcing the behavior. The mistake people make is waiting for big wins. Instead, reward tiny steps. Train your brain to celebrate progress, not perfection. 1 page written, 1 workout done, $1 saved. All of these deserve a small celebration. The brain doesn't care about scale. It cares about repetition and reward. What about obstacles? Everyone says, I'll do it tomorrow. That's the brain avoiding discomfort. To override this, use implementation intentions. Pre-decide what action you'll take in response to triggers. If it's 7 a.m., then I put on my running shoes. If I feel tired after work, then I open my journal instead of Netflix. You're programming, if then code, like software. The more specific, the more automatic it becomes. Use visualization, not vague daydreaming, but vivid mental rehearsal. Athletes use this constantly. When you visualize yourself performing the goal, lifting weights, giving a speech, closing a deal, your brain activates many of the same neural circuits as if you were really doing it. It's practice without moving a muscle. Combine visualization with real reps, and you create double reinforcement. Now, let's kill a myth. Discipline doesn't mean suffering forever. Discipline is trained automation. You don't force yourself to brush your teeth. It's automatic. The same can happen with waking up early, reading daily, eating clean, building your business, or saving money. It feels hard only until the habit loop is built. Then you stop spending energy and start conserving it. That's why highly successful people don't rely on being motivated. They rely on brain training. Here's a simple blueprint. Identity shift. Become the type of person who does the action. Emotional anchor. Attach powerful reasons why. Trigger linking. Connect new habits to existing routines. Reward system. Celebrate every small step to reinforce the loop. If, then coding. Pre-program responses to friction. Visualization. Mentally rehearse the behavior and outcome. Repetition. Consistency builds automation. Automation builds results. Once your brain is trained, it works for you instead of against you. Habits become effortless. Discipline feels natural. Goals no longer require endless decision making because the decisions are already made in your wiring. You're not fighting yourself anymore. You're flowing with the system you created. So ask yourself, what goal do you want to automate? Health, wealth, creativity, relationships? Choose one. Start with one habit. Train it like a muscle. Once it sticks, add another. Slowly, your entire brain becomes a success machine. People who succeed aren't necessarily smarter. They're better programmed. They turned goal setting into brain setting. And you can do the same. Don't wait for motivation. Motivation is a spark. What you need is a system. Train your brain, wire your habits, and your goals will stop being something you chase. They'll become the natural byproduct of who you are. Because your brain is always being trained. The only question is, are you training it to fail or training it to win? If this message hit home, here's your next automated step. Subscribe to the channel, tap like to lock this lesson in your recommendations, and drop your #1 goal in the comments. I read them and turn the best ones into future But What If episodes. Turn on notifications so your brain gets a cue every time we drop a new strategy. Make learning automatic too.